Hi, I'm David Kern, owner and president of Debco Manufacturing. We make jewelry here in Pasadena. We've been in Pasadena for over 50 years. We do classic die-struck award jewelry. To that award jewelry, we apply the fine quality standards of polishing and plating. Basically, die striking is the image of the finished piece of jewelry in reverse cut into a hardened piece of steel. On top of that steel, we place a blank piece of metal, and it can be gold-filled, sterling silver, 10 karat, gold plate, whatever have you. And we take a very large hammer and we drive the metal into the die. Now, when we drive that metal into the die, we work harden the metal. So it's not just a simple one-timer. We may strike your average pin 3 times. Between each striking, we have to anneal it, which means we take the striking itself, we take it to a fire bench, we heat treat it, we get it rosy red, nice and hot, then we have to boil it in a cleaning solution, then we restrike it. What that annealing does, making it soft, allows us to keep driving the metal deep down into the die so that you get the excellent quality and the consistent quality which comes with this particular process. Once we have made the striking, which is basically your emblem with a bunch of extra metal sticking over the edge, we typically hand cut off the excess metal, and at that point we've created a finished stamping. The next step after the stamping is we take it to the jeweler's bench where we apply what is called the finding. The finding is a jewelry term which means the attaching device which puts it onto your body. You can take the same emblem of your organization, you can put a tie tack back on it. It's a tie tack. You can take that same emblem, put a lapel pin, a safety pin, a ring top on it. It is the same item, but as the finding that gives it the definition of what the item itself is. What that allows us to do is if you want 5 lapel pins and 3 safety pins and 10 tie tacks, we can do that all at the same time without going into mass quantities of any particular item itself. After we've created the stamping and now it has the finding, so now we have a defined piece of jewelry, and for terminology's sake we'll just say it's a lapel pin, we have to decide what the next step is. We could go straight to polishing and plating, or we could add hard-fired enamel. And the real terminology is French quality vitreous hard-fired enamel. We use non-lead based enamels. We will probably enamel your item 2-3 times per color as an average. And what happens is you put the enamel between the cloisonnés. What a cloisonné is a French word meaning closure. It is a ridge. The fence around your backyard, in essence, is a cloisonné because it is a ridge that holds in the grass. In our process, what we like to do is use those cloisonnés to our advantage in the design elements. Do we want a ridge here, don't want a ridge, etc. If you take an item itself, and let's say it's 14 karat gold, you spend a lot of money on the metal, and you cover it all with enamel everywhere, I ask the question, why? Why do you want to cover everything? So we like to accent certain parts, and it's really driven by your design and what you're trying to achieve. So what we do is we take the pin itself, we put the enamel in, we fire it, it looks all kind of bubbly. Then we take a stone, a sanding stone, and we take the surface of the enamel down to the top of the cloisonné. But what happens at that point, there'll be bubbles in it, holes in it. It's not perfect. So after we've sanded it, we add more enamel to it. Again, we fire it, we sand it down to the cloisonné. We do it an average of 3 times, and between each firing, we again have to clean the item itself. And at the very end, when the enamel is perfectly sanded, consistent, we put it in the kiln one more time to fire it, and that gives you the gloss and luster that you are expecting. If we were to not use enamel, let's just say we want to use a silver color or a gold color, and I use that because we can make silver and gold colors in sterling silver, 10 karat, 14 karat, different metals. But let's just say it was a gold color. What we typically like to do is we like to sandblast the background. So we take your pin that's been put together, has no enamel in it, and we actually take a glass bead and we beat the background down so that we have this nice little microscopically pebbled finish. Then what we do is we bright polish the tops of the pin, the higher areas, so that you have a contrast of the satin finish, if you will, sandblasted finish, and the bright polished tops, which give you the accent and quality. Another step in the process, if we wanted to, or had to in your case, is to apply a stone. synthetic or genuine, flat set, prong set, tube set. We do all of them here. 99% of the time we flat set our stones, which in essence what we do is we create a conical divot in the pin itself where we lay the stone in, and that if you know the faceted back what a stone, it fits exactly in there. And we take a jeweler's knife and we actually cut over and bend over the metal to hold the stone in. That's called flat setting. We don't need to use a really high quality stone. You'll never see it. Okay, you've only got the light coming in from the top to radiate and to bounce off the facets. But I'll be honest with you, sometimes synthetics are better because they're a more radiant color. It's a choice of you, it's your budget, it's whatever you want. The next step after that, we polish and put them together is to attach the final part of the lapel pin clasp itself, and there's different ones to choose from. And then we go to packaging. Our standard packaging is this two-piece black cotton fill box with a very presentable, very nice. We can put them in plastic boxes, and we can put an inexpensive jewelry box, but what we like to do is we primarily use a velvet colored deluxe high quality jewelry box. We believe the presentation is 9/10 of the award itself. Not only is the item beautiful, but if you hand it across the table, no packaging, no fanfare, it doesn't have the perceived value. So what we try and do is we try and put it in something where you open it up like the wedding ring, if you will, and you look at it and it frames it so beautifully. So I do suggest that you consider heavily the type of packaging and presentation, not only the packaging, but the environment, the amount of people in the room, how it's given to the person. It's very important to the award system.